Hello everyone, it's Angie here at Beads and Plenty More. Today I thought I'd show you a necklace done with Millefiori beads. So Millefiori, which translates to 1,000 flowers, is basically a glass bead made with a flower design in it. And I'm working with the square ones here. So they've got little flowers in their design. And what I've done first is I went through my mixed strand and I picked out a couple that kind of matched to make a pair of earrings. So I've got my beads threaded up on a head pin here. So a head pin has a flat bottom. So I've got 3mm metal beads that I'm working with, these square ones. I've got a 4mm crystal, and then I've just added another 3mm bead on my end here. So what I'm going to do first with my earring is I'm going to take it and I'm going to bend the head pin right nice and tight to the beads. So I'll do that with the other one as well. When you're working with random beads, you want to make sure that you get, if you're making earrings to match, you want to make sure you pull your earring beads first. So I'm going to cut this so I've got roughly 1 centimeter remaining. And I'll cut both of them at the same time to get two that match. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to grab right at the end of the wire. So I'm right at the end of the wire, but I'm partway down on my pliers. My bead is hanging down, and I'm going to come around the top barrel. So I'm going to just rotate my wrist around until I make a loop here. And I've got some shepherd hooks here to be able to finish my earring off. So there's one done. And do the other one here. So we did actually do this one up as a kit, so this kit is also available if you want to get in on this exact necklace. So the kit comes with both the necklace and the earrings. So there's my pair of earrings, just a basic little pair. And then I'm going to work on finishing my necklace off. So I was threading my necklace on tiger wire, and I was using the 0.018 7-strand wire. I've just got a temporary end on here. And I decided after I finished threading it that I was going to add one more crystal here and one more metal bead to each end. So I'll have to do that on the other end too. When I'm working on one necklace, I generally just work with the spool as my stop on the other end. So now I've got my end threaded the way I want it. I'm going to add 2 crimp beads. So these are 2mm crimp beads. And then I'm going to come through my wire guardian. So wire guardians are like small horseshoes. So there, you can see that. Just move those out of the way. I've come through the wire guardian. Got my thread through it, and I'm going to hook the clasp into the middle of it. Now the clasp, I ended up putting a jump ring on it. It's a lobster clasp, but with an extra jump ring, and that's just to give it a little more flexibility, so that when I'm taking the necklace on and off, I have the ability to flex it a little bit. Now once I've got this on, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take the wire guardian and I'll just squeeze it in a little bit, and that keeps the clasp in the middle there and from falling out of that wire guardian. And on this side, I'm just going to bring the beads up to it. So I'm going to come back through those 2 crimps, pull everything good and tight, and take my needle nose pliers and just come in and squish down on those crimp beads. And that's my one end done. So then, to hide the tail end, I'm just going to bring it back through my beads. So you want to take it back through 2 or 3 beads. I'm actually going further than I need to here. I just happen to have a long tail end. We'll just trim the extra off and move on to the other end. So bring all the wire nice and tight down. And I want to cut it so I've got at least a couple inches. 3 or 4 is ideally better. And then before I forget, I'm going to add my 2 beads that I'm missing on this end. Nice part about tiger wire is you don't need a beading needle or anything. It's stiff enough you can just poke it through the beads. Okay, so I've got my other end here. I'm going to put my 2 crimp beads on. And I need to put the wire guardian on. And the little piece of chain that's going to be my other end of the clasp. So it goes into the wire guardian, and again I can just squeeze that in a little bit. Now I need to get this nice and tight. So before I get everything pulled up snug to my beads, I'm going to go back through my 2 crimp beads. So if I put my finger underneath the crimp beads, the holes come to the top, and also through some of my beads. That's probably far enough back. So you can see I've got a gap right here. I'm going to hold and just pull. And I'm going to work that until there's no gaps in my necklace here. I'm working to an 18-inch finished length. You could always make it shorter, or you could make it longer by adding a few more beads. But I just threaded my Millefiori beads on randomly and with the pattern in between. And I like the difference in the shapes, so using the square bead helped to give it a little more interest. So cut that up nice and tight. Sometimes you just have to wiggle the end a little bit and it'll go into the bead beside it. So then that clasp will hook to the other side. And it gives you a little piece of chain that you can then adjust your length if you so choose. So that's my bracelet and earring set, all done. Hope you enjoyed that and you have a good day.